Overshield's actually received a substantial buff with the current season, and it's made Void Titans even better. So the change that happened to Void Overshields was basically a buff, and it also kind of wasn't, in the sense overall it is going to perform better, but what they did was fix a bug that made it only provide a 25% damage reduction, and it's now been increased to 50% damage reduction. So now every time you have a Overshield on you, you are essentially taking 50% less damage, and this damage reduction will stack with a bunch of other things that we have in the game, such as resilience. All right, so jump right into the build. This is going to be all about spamming many grenades as possible alongside having as many Overshields as possible. So the way we're going to achieve that, start off with our aspects. We're going to be running Bastion. So this is going to make when you cash a super, you will grant an Overshield to nearby allies. On top of that, when you cash your barricade, you'll get an Overshield that will also basically regenerate an Overshield when you stand behind the barricade. This is just an on-demand Overshield that is going to give you that 50% damage reduction whenever you need it at any times. On top of that, you're also placing a barricade down, which is going to have its own benefits in itself. And on top of that, this barricade summon will also have increased health. So overall, it's just a very defensive aspect, and it is very, very strong. Now, I do like taking the rally barricade simply because it does have a lower cooldown, and we're going to want to be spamming barricades as much as possible. If you want a more defensive barricade, definitely take towering barricade, but rally barricade will also help out with a bunch of stats on your weapon, namely being reload speed is probably the most effective for PvE, because that is always just going to be very good. Now, to spam grenades, I do like to take Vortex Grenade. It's very, very simple. It's very easy to use. And we also can be taking the offensive Bulwark. This is going to make when you have an Overshield and you're inside of Ward of Dawn, your grenade will recharge significantly faster. It also does give you more melee range and damage, and melee final blows will actually extend the duration of your Overshield. So that's going to be good, because now every time you get an Overshield, not only can you regenerate it to extend it, getting your melee kills will also extend it. And speaking of melee, I do like to run the shield throw, because if you do get a hit with this, it will also grant you an Overshield. So the point of this is you want to have almost every single part of this build granting as many Overshields as possible, alongside that grenade recharge rate, which we'll get into more. But this also does work with defensive Bulwark, which is very, very nice. Now, I also do like to run Ward of Dawn. This is just a one and done super. You can get this out. This will help out with your team. It's going to provide survivability alongside a damage buff. And the fragments I like to run with this is actually Echo of Persistence. So this is going to make my buffs, things like Invisibility, Devour, and Overshield, will last longer. We're mainly caring about Overshield and Devour with this. Invisibility doesn't matter as much, but we're also going to be running Echo of Instability. So when we defend an enemy with our grenades, we will also be granted volatile rounds for our void weapons. This is very good for ad clear and add some extra DPS. Since we're trying to spam grenades everywhere, we're always going to be getting kills, so always rock volatile rounds. And I'll also will run Echo or Starvation, so when you pick up an Orb of Power, it will grant Devour. So if you don't know what Devour does, when you get a kill while it's active, it will fully refill your health to max, alongside giving you a huge chunk of grenade energy, and all you have to do to keep rocking it is getting kills. And since we're taking Echo or Persistence, this is going to make it even easier to make sure you always have time to keep that Devour up 24/7, and it's also going to help out with keeping those Overshields up as much as possible, so you can always get that 50% damage reduction. Now let's move on to our exotic. We're going to be running Heart of Endless Light. This is by far the best Titan exotic in the game. It has the exotic perk Overflowing Light. So using the ability Grenade, Melee, or Barricade empowers the other two abilities. Empowered means abilities have faster regen, melees and grenades do more damage, and barricades have more hit points. So this is going to be very good for getting those cooldowns back. You want to spam your barricade, melee, and your grenade as much as possible. Everything is going to benefit from it. Your melee is giving you an Overshield, your barricade is giving you an Overshield, your grenades are granting you volatile rounds, and if you just keep these chained together over and over again, they're doing more damage. Your barricades have even more health paired with Bastion, and it's almost unkillable, and you just become this crazy ad clear and just a super tanky Titan. Now, I do like to run 100 resilience and 100 discipline. Obviously 100 resilience will pair with that Overshield, which is giving you even more damage reduction, then 100 discipline so you can throw grenades, so you can always have volatile rounds. And speaking of volatile rounds, I do like to run the Unforgiven. This is my favorite gun to run. This can come with a lot of great perks. It has Demolitionist on it, which will proc with Devour, which gives you almost instant near grenade cooldowns after like 1 to 2 kills with everything working into this build. And it also has Golden Tricorn. You can run Repulsor Brace on this, but I don't think you need it, since you always can just apply an Overshield anytime you want to on the Titan. So Golden Tricorn will give you a 15% damage increase when you get a kill with the gun, but then if you actually get a ability kill after that, it will bump this up to 50% damage. So if you get a kill, then get a grenade kill, this gun is essentially getting volatile rounds alongside 50% more damage, and it will just shred through enemies. Now, I do also like to run a Taipan as well. This is just with triple tap firing line. It is void, so you can proc volatile rounds on it as well. So you just add a little bit extra DPS to whatever you're shooting at, and then also help out with damage. I like to run a Phantomite. So whenever I pick up an elemental that matches my subclass type, it will grant me a temporary bonus to damage. More on how we're going to get that activated later, but all of this will stack. Phantomite, Golden Tricorn, volatile rounds, All of that will combine together and you just get an absurd amount of damage increase. And again, Phantomite plus volatile rounds and Firing Line will also stack to just give you an absurd amount of damage. Now, to proc the elemental well, I do like to run an elemental ordnance since we're spamming grenades everywhere in the first place. This is just going to be easy. You have elemental well spawning everywhere. I also like to run seeking wells just to throw that on there so the wells can track to me so I can make sure I get the wells. A thing to note is that the wells will also give you ability energy for all your abilities since they are matching your subclass type. So that means pairing this with Heart of Inmost Light, you're getting even more ability energy for every single ability, which is just crazy. Now, I do like to run Well of Tenacity. This is giving you even more damage reduction when you pick up a Void Elemental Well. So now you have this damage reduction alongside your Resilience damage reduction and your Overshield damage reduction, just letting you become an absolute tank alongside Devour healing you to max every single time you get a kill. And then finally, I do like running Bountiful Wells for my Elemental Well mod, so I can just make 2 wells when I get a grenade kill. This just means some more ability energy and it's just easier to spam everything. And then don't forget, I also do run the Phantomite. Now, since we do need to make orbs, I do run a Harmonic Siphon, so whenever I get rapid final blows to match my subclass type, I'll make an Orb of Power. To take advantage of that, I do like to run double insulation as well, so when I pick up that orb, I will get Devour, and I will also reduce the cooldown of my class ability, which just means it's even easier to spam your barricade, so you can always have your Bastion up or your Overshield up 24/7. And then for the final mods I do like to run is a Bomber, so since I put my barricade down all the time, I will get some grenade energy, which is very, very nice, and Monochromatic Maestro. Now, when the season goes away, if you want to run double Bomber, that is totally fine, but with right now in the season, Monochromatic Maestro is very strong because essentially since I'm spamming abilities everywhere, I will always get more gun damage and ability damage, and the damage from Heart of Inmost Light will also apply to Monochromatic Maestro, and you could just absolutely obliterate, kill everything. It is very, very fun. Now, if you are playing solo, I would highly recommend just running Solo Operative instead, because this is a 15%, whereas this is only 10%. But if you're not, Monochromatic Maestro is for sure the way to go. But that is pretty much the Titan build I've been running. I absolutely adore this. You can throw grenades everywhere. You're pretty much unkillable with all the overshields you get. The Unforgiven is honestly still one of my favorite weapons in the entire game. Getting those volatile rounds with a golden tricorn and Phantomite paired together, it just absolutely shreds through enemies no matter what type of content you're in. And this is also somewhat of a supportive based build too, because this overshield you're applying for Bastion will actually go to your teammates, and they can also get the benefits of Rally Barricade as well. But alright, that's pretty much the build. Let me know what you all think about it. And if you all want to try it out, I will have a dim link to it in the description below. And if you all enjoyed and learned anything new, consider subscribing and drop a like and turn notifications on. Also, if you'd like to join my Discord or follow me on any of my socials, all that will be linked in the description as well. But just know watching this video is way more than enough, and that every single bit of support from you all is truly appreciated. Thank you all so much for watching this one, and have a great day. Peace.